Y'all thought maybe this was an episode of a throwback to Andy Griffith and me and Opie was going to walk down this bank and go fishing, but really it's just me. We going fishing.
And Major.
And Mage. Mage is going. Come on, Mage. Let's go catch a fish. Come on. You know, I really like to go fish. To me, it's pretty relaxing, and this old lake has been north of town there since really back in the 50s, and I like to do some catfishing. It's pretty, just sit there and wait for something to bite. So I use a little top water, and Mage thought it's pretty hot to go fishing, so he come down there and cooled off his little fat belly in the water. We did end up thinking that the catfish wasn't gonna bite too much on the bottom, so we put as a bobber on there and raised that stink bait up about a foot off the bottom and threw it out there, and I kept thinking for the longest time that we were getting a nibble. And I'd tell Shan, I say, we finna catch a catfish, and he just kept moving around, and then sure enough, I seen him poke his little old head up there, a little old water turtle out there, and he thought that bobber was his favorite beach ball ever, and he would not leave that thing alone. I got back to top water, caught one of them old perch, throwed him back. I do like to catch them, they put up a good fight. Really pretty fish too. You know, we didn't catch too much today. Now you seen me dragging that world record perch there. Luckily, I've got some in the freezer and we fixing to go fry them up. Well, we're back here under the barn we are, and let's talk about them fish. Southern fried fish. Now we used to have really big fish fries at our house a long time ago. We'd go to Lake Texoma, do a lot of that jug fishing, catching big old catfish. But I've been going up this little old lake north of town, been catching some catfish, been catching some bass. I really like a good white flaky fish that I'm gonna fry, but folks, it's really about that crust too. I mean, you gotta get that really good crunch in there. It's gotta be crispy, gotta be golden brown. But to do that golden brown, you got to have a secret ingredient that's gonna make it pop even more, and you gotta keep an eye on that temp. I'm so thankful for the folks at Chef's Temp for sponsoring this video. You know, I really like that final touch because it has what? An instant reading. I don't have to wait. It's there when I put it in that oil. And we're gonna be checking that oil periodically today because that is a must-have to get that good, crispy, right color of fish that we're gonna put on the plate. Crispy fish is one thing, but we need a dipping sauce to go with it. For years, I always thought that there was just what? Ketchup. But Shan told me one time, oh, you've got to have tartar sauce.
I love a good
with
tartar sauce.
Fish. So I made my own version, and ooh, it is so tasty it is. And it starts off with some Duke mayonnaise, and then we just gonna take a little bit of lemon juice. Now, them seeds is always jumping right out there at the front. So, and these 14 seeds fell in there at the same time, Shan. Then we have some capers. That throwed you for a loop, didn't it? And some dill pickles that we have diced up. But y'all know me, I like my food to bite back a little, so we're gonna add us some horseradish in there. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and just put that much. I ain't even gonna say it W sauce because I can't never say it right. Worcestershire, something like that. About yay much. We're gonna give it a stir. And you need to put this together first because it needs to chill in the ice box while we're frying them fish. Well, it was another day of great fishing, but we didn't get a bite. But luckily, the Cowboy here has fish in the freezer that he's been catching up there, so we didn't get skunked altogether. Now, white and flaky and really good fish is what it takes to have a fish fry that is worth talking about. When you catch them fish and you got them filleted out of there, and you can fillet a catfish and a bass the same, you can. Always transfer them immediately to cold water. That is the most important thing. To really, I think, taking care of fish and taking care of wild game like you was to harvest out in the field, it all starts right when you catch it. But I always like to clean them as quick as I can, put them in ice water, rinse them really well, ice water again, but you gotta make sure that they are clean throughout. Well, let's talk about the dry coating that is actually gonna give this the crust that I really like and flavor in every bite. And for years and years, I just always just cornmeal fish, and that was it. But folks, there's so much more to it than that to get that really extra crispy crunch that even lets that batter and all that fried goodness stay on that fish. So we're just gonna start with some measuring cups, which is right here. A cup of all-purpose flour. and a cup of cornmeal, yellow cornmeal, cornstarch. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story on cornstarch. When you use cornstarch to put in a dry ingredient, it helps it adhere to the surface that it is attached to. Now, I'm going to tell you another story about cornstarch. It is a great medical cure-all, it is right here. Because this kind of weather, summertime and hot, you be riding in a saddle for a long, long time, and you be getting what I call galded or a little chafing back there. Cornstarch will cure that. I've had so many people come to the wagon at festivals and say, could I borrow a little bit of that cornstarch? My youngin' has diaper rash. Folks, it will dry that stuff up at will. So I'm talking heaping tablespoon, heaping.
Whoa.
We like a heaping, we do. Baking powder is going to give us that extra little jump too. So we going heaping. Here's another heaping one. It is. We're going to add some garlic powder, some smoked paprika, and some yellow mustard. We're going to put us about 3 tablespoons of original seasoning in there, or let's just go 2.5, and then just mix. You want to make sure that is incorporated well. Speaking of frying fish, I got the oil over here preheated. Today we're frying in peanut oil because we're going to get a temperature of 350, and that's where we want to stay. But let me check it with this chef's temp because I've had it on for just a second. I just want to make sure we ain't burning no oil. We in good shape. We're at 265 and rising. You ever hear that song? How high is the water, mama? 4 feet high and rising. Johnny Cash sang it, him and June, they did. So,
we get dinner and a show.
Yes, we do. Let's put the dry right over there. Now, a lot of times when I fried fish, I never had a wet ingredient to mix them in.
Oh,
it was
really?
just cornmeal. Put them in a paper sack, shake and bake, shake and bake. I'm going to shake it and bake it. But no, I was frying it. But we need something wet for that, all that stuff to conglomerate on, okay? So let's just start with a little dab of flour here. I'd say that was right close to 1/4 of a cup.
In your wet?
In the wet, yes it is.
What?
And there is a secret ingredient if somebody hadn't stole it. Let me check the lock box, the combination, 271. There it is right there. What is it? Sprite soda pop. Now y'all all heard of beer battered fish, hadn't you? Well, why not have Sprite? Because this is a lemon lime base. We have some lemon pepper in our seasoning mix, and we didn't want it really, really thin. We're going to keep this to where it's pretty thick, so we may have to adjust something here when we get plumb through, but that carbonation is going to help stuff go pop. It is going to be so good. But you got to make sure that you got this mixed up really, really good. But as you're making this and you're frying fish, you can always make some more of this while you're at it. So don't think it's a one-time shot. We're going to thicken it just a tad. I want it to be not like water, but not quite yet pancake batter. Wet and dry is ready to go. So folks, one way, oh my gosh, look here.
Sprung a leak.
It's just like when you pick up a toad, Shan, they're always wet on you. So let me get that out of there right quick. When you talk about frying fish, one of the best things that I can tell you, the #1 tip is your fish need to be dry before anything happens to them. I know they come from a wet climate, but we need to dry them off really well. And as soon as I got these out, the wind picked up. So we're going to see what happens here in a minute. It's sort of not quite as bad as saran wrap, but it's close. Here is some catfish, and you can tell the difference when you roll that flesh side back to you. Here is another piece of catfish. Some more bass. I would call them fillets of fish. I have a good friend in Ruston, Louisiana named Tony Osborne, and he calls them some fillets. Them and some fillets of fish. But folks, we got to dry them fish out, so I don't want you to just mash the ever-living snot out of them, but I want you to get them really dry. And if you have to change paper towels to do that, make sure that you get that done. Now, I like a quick fry, and you can see that this one here is a little thicker than the rest of them. So you can do it any way you want, but I'm just going to cut him right down the middle there. And there you have two pretty even pieces. We'll cut this one the same. And when you catch them bigger catfish, see these little bones that fillet knife cut through? Some of them rib bones, and we didn't get them all. Let's see if we can pull them out. We got one, because I don't want to bite in there and get him. I don't. on them cooking competition shows, they have fish tweezers that they allowed for you to
Fancy.
have. Yes. But when we used to go jug fishing down there at Lake Texoma for so many years, and we'd catch some anywhere from 2-pound catfish to 60-pound catfish. And some of them old big ones, they got some fat on them. I mean, and it'll be this old yeller fat like you can see on this young fella right here. Now, I have done them both ways. I have took that and trimmed that off, or you can leave it. To me, it doesn't affect the fish taste that much. On a big fish, weighing 50, 60 pounds, or even 30 pounds, if you'll fillet that top layer of fat that's right against that meat, just shave a little of that off, he'll taste better the rest of the way throughout. We need to go to work. Now, number one, in the wet, in the dry. Now, we're gonna do some of these so I can let y'all see how much this really increases, but we're gonna just single layer him right there. Here we go back over here with another, and we're gonna do him double. So when you bring it up that next time, shake that excess off of it. Back in the wet again it goes, what we call a double baptizing. Give it a little pat there, pat it friendly like. Shake the excess off, put them on that wire rack. What is your favorite eating fish? I need you to know if you're out there fishing and you catch one, because to me, it is walleye and crappie really for me is probably the fish I like to eat the most. And I have eaten a little everything from carp to everything else. But I do love me some crappie and some walleye. So let me know what you're catching. Let me know how you cook it. It's just good to have a fish fry. Got the oil at 350 today, and we're using peanut oil, and that's where the chef's temp comes in really handy because we need to maintain that temperature. Now remember, when you go to putting them cold fillets in there, you're going to drop that temperature just a little. So after them get to frying for just a little bit, check that oil temp again because it comes in so fast. That accurate reading is right off the bat, and you'll need to know where you need to regulate that heat for the first batch or not. Now we're going to fry these about 4 to 5 minutes till they're golden brown, and folks, you may have to flip them around in your deep fryer if you got a basket, if you can shake them, whatever, but you want to make sure that they're evenly fried on both sides. Get that good golden crispness to turn out all the way through, and be sure and keep an eye on that oil temperature with your chef's temp. So good. Make you want to do the fishing dance. First you got to have an instrument. It's called a pole, and you plop in the water. Set that hook. Here we go. Fight that fish. Get him back here. We'll get him in the boat. Whoop, he is a big one. It is. My God, that fish tastes good. We'll try a piece of this that is double dipped without sauce. This is the winner.
The double?
The double dipper for me, because you just got that extra crunch that goes with it. But you never eat a lot of fish up there in Elko, did you?
Not much.
So I want you to try this, please, for me. And you like tartar sauce. So I just want you to have a little treat there to see what you think.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Oh, that is crunchy.
Where is my Wyoming folks at? Because what? We're headed up to Casper to the Letterbuck Festival we are, but also going to be going on, and we added another book signing we did in 10 Sleep. And guess what? The folks at the Lazy T Ranch are going to be doing a block party up there, cooking some burgers, but even my famous bologna sandwich is going to be there. So check it out. We'd love to see you. Well, we hope y'all enjoyed this video, because ain't nothing I like better than some good old fried fish and sharing it with all my puppies. Wait, you didn't see them get their bite? Well, I have 3 fishing dogs out here with me today. Mage, here you go, little fisherman. Lou, are you a fisherman? And I know the Beagle is, because he has been fishing with me before. But it is with pride, honor, and privilege that I tip my hat to all our servicemen and women and all the veterans who have kept that old flag a-flying over there. We commend you, we do. But also a special shout out to the good folks at Chef's Tip for sponsoring this video and for making a great product and supporting us. Be sure you check them out, folks. I won't steer you wrong on this. The rest of you, come on in here really close because it's getting summertime. I didn't put on no deodorant, and I'm gonna give you a big old hug. God bless you, each and every one, and I'll see you down the crispy fried fish trail. Supposed to sing that song now? Fishy, fishy in the brook, come and get up on my hook.
Is there like a certain vibe that you get pre-fishing where you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good day? Or
it'd be better if my wife wasn't sarcastic, but stink bait. Sort of like splashing jalapenos. You don't want to pick your nose afterwards. Is fishing hard work, ain't it? Yeah. Mage has got the right idea. If you can't catch no fish, take a nap.